Hi, Port Vita members. Today is Monday, March 23rd, coming to you from home because everything's in lockdown. So we're going to be going over just a little instructional today online. Got Russell here to help us out. Just because we can't go to the gym and train doesn't mean that we can't stay up on our knowledge and just keeping sharp mentally with our jiu-jitsu. So today is the jiu-jitsu technique of the day, and we'll be going over some more leg locks this week. Thanks. Okay, during this leg lock week, we're going to be talking through a heel hook. Now, there are a couple different ways that we can go about getting this submission. We're going to first go through a simple way, maybe if an opponent isn't as high level, isn't as skilled. And then we're going to go through a more complex way if we're going against somebody that's highly skilled. Okay, whether we are doing the simple one or the complex version, these four phases are always going to be the case. Okay, first we need entry and connection into a leg lock position, making sure that we're staying above the knee line and controlling the leg lock position. Second thing is exposing the heel, specifically for the heel hook. The third thing is negating any resistance or counters, anything that they're trying to do to escape. And then the fourth thing is obviously getting the break or the submission to happen. If you want to screenshot that, go ahead, but those are our four phases that we're going to be working through. So in accomplishing this heel hook, we first have to start with our entry and connection. Most entries are going to lead us into this ashigarami position that you're seeing here. From this position, we can go into all the other different leg lock positions, lots and lots of different entries into this position. The ashigarami position, you see that the outside leg wraps around, heels in the hip. Notice his far leg. His shoelaces on that far leg are against the other leg of his opponent. That kind of helps control that second leg, which can give us a lot of trouble with escaping. You see the really good connection between his knee and his ankle area right here. That makes it really hard for him to escape. He's well beyond the knee line. He's got lots of control here, and you notice that his weight is over that leg that he wants to attack. Okay, as we get into the second phase, which is exposing the heel, you can already see that John here is reaching with his other arm to lift up on that ankle to expose that heel a little bit. The arm that's going to wrap around the heel, you see that his elbow is right in line with the toes. And now he can swing his forearm underneath that heel and get in to exposing the heel with the foot trapped in his armpit. Notice also that he really tightens his elbow back. He pulls it back to his ribs and makes it all nice and tight there. The toes are in the armpit and the heel's exposed. Now let's talk about phase 3, which is shutting down any escapes or counters. The straight ashigarami position is really easy to enter into. You can get into it from all over the mat. However, it has a lot of escapes and counters out of it. One escape that we know of very well at the gym is pushing this foot off the hip and then sitting across will get you out of this position. I'll also be showing you a pretty cool counter to the ashigarami position at the end of the video. But again, we're talking about somebody that's not as highly skilled. Maybe they don't know all these escapes and counters. So one of the things that you don't have to be taught with a heel hook, you just feel it and you want to relieve that pressure, is rolling. So very common type resistance that somebody's been giving you once you go to apply that heel hook is somebody wants to roll with the heel hook. And not only is that going to relieve pressure of the heel hook, but it's also going to help him get out. So how do we stop that from happening? One of the things here that you see are John's knees are actually pointed out towards us. So it's in the opposite direction that he's going to be applying the pull on the heel hook. Those opposing forces really help with the submission. Also, with his knees pointed in this direction, which is opposite the roll, it really helps keep the person from rolling out. If the roll does happen, if you're going to expose the heel hook and somebody feels that coming on and they start to roll, for today, the simple version, we're going to stick with the Ashigarami position. We're going to really connect to their leg, and we're just going to roll with them. Now, we don't want to roll and get all the way off the mat and reset. We're just going to roll with them once. We're going to stick with them one full roll until we end up right back to where we started. And once that happens, you'll see here that we're going to go from phase 3 into phase 4, which is actually getting the break to happen. At this point right here, when we're back to normal, what we're going to do is we're going to really elevate our hips off the mat. We're going to straighten our body and drive our hips to get the tap. We also don't want that roll to continue to happen, so our top leg being the dominant leg with a lot of force out in this direction is really preventing the roll from happening in that opposite direction. Lastly, as I mentioned before, there's a pretty cool counter to the straight Ashigarami when someone's digging for that heel hook. As you see here, when you're really leaned over trying to dig out that heel from underneath of you, it can make your top leg a little bit more exposed and light for your opponent to grab that, pull it over their hip, and then once you send your leg over the top, now you beat them to getting to that exposed heel. You see here that now he has the heel while you're still trying to dig for it. He has now beaten you with the race, and now you're in a pretty bad position here. So now they can start applying their heel hook on you before you get a chance to on them. So how do we get past all these escapes and counters? We're going to be transitioning from not just one Ashigarami to several during the course of the heel hook when we go into our more complex way of doing it throughout the week. So please stick with us. I think that's enough for today. Looks like Russell's had enough, so we'll see you tomorrow.